exciting time on exploring the child world. We do hope you had a nice time while we were away. And it's no doubt that children are indeed special. They require so much attention because at times they might be fragile. I'm Prezidobu and I'm not here alone. I have beautiful ladies around me. Hello.
Hello, my name is Remilekun Akishe. It's nice having you all here.
It's nice having you.
It's nice
I
having
can
you
relate to
too.
that smile. I'll come back to your smile.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Olua Family. I'm so happy to be here.
Nice
to
having
see
you here.
Family.
So we began on a series of learning disability, and we started with the fact that learning disability is a malfunctioning of the brain, and so at times it just seems difficult for children to assimilate things and to relate with so many other things. And on this we have our consultant who will be here with us shortly. Trust me, you really do not want to miss. So stay tuned with us while we get back to you. Yeah, I'm not alone. Like I said, we have our amiable consultant in the house, Dr. Louis. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
How
Please.
are you, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm very. Thank you so much. And you?
I'm very fine.
Going by this one.
We are fine, actually.
Always fine. That's what we are. Fine people, child warders, all children are supposed to be fine.
Children
All
are
parents
beautiful. We are beautiful too.
Yeah,
That reminds me, I'm a child.
that's right. And where is
I
someone
thought
leading
we were
to? I
going
hope.
to dispute that.
Hey, if it does not have anything to do with buying toys
I won't
for you,
see you, sir.
or talking about, we don't negotiate presents and let's
It's
leave it
alright.
aside for now. Well, I recognize you as a
I'll
child.
be lenient today.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you for your kind consideration. Thank you, because I won't have to spend so much.
Okay. Okay, doctor. Learning children with it might seem difficult for children with learning disability. How difficult is that? What's learning disability basically?
Thank you very much, Prince. You know, the other time we were looking at this topic, we tried as much as possible to let people know that, just like you said, children can experience difficulty, especially when it comes to to learning, or when it comes to performing specific tasks, especially in one or two or more academic area, or you can call it specific disciplines or subjects. In other words, if there is a difficulty in learning a task or in performing specific function, especially in some subject area, it may not be an entire area. Now that is what we mean by learning disability. In other words, that disability, the essence of that disability is that there will be some difficulty for a child to learn in a typical manner. It doesn't mean that the child will not learn. It just means that the child will not be able to learn in a manner that every other person will be able to learn. Let me give you an example. Like if I'm in a classroom and I have maybe 15, 20 pupils in the classroom, and I'm trying to teach them using maybe the conventional means. Like I can stand before the chalkboard and I will be coming up with the instructions I'll be giving them with the activities that they can or they should be performing at that point in time. Maybe out of the 20, about 18 of them are able to flow, but 2 were not able to flow. That the 2 that we mentioned could actually be experiencing some difficulty flowing with what I'm saying as a result of certain conditions. Some of those conditions, we call them, they could be disorders. It could be something as simple as just temporary things, but then sometimes they could be caused by disorders. But the essence of saying this is that when there is a learning disability, there will be that manifest difficulty that will show in a particular area, or in the combination of areas, as the case might be. Now, if we are looking at learning difficulty, and we are saying that it gives people the idea that children can have some difficulty learning in a typical manner, especially as it relates to a particular subject or an area, or maybe a combination of such, depending on the degree or severity of the challenge. We are also saying that sometimes when these children go through this, there could be what we call disorders. Now, disorders, if we say disorders may be things that will have been clinically, officially diagnosed. You understand? It's not like you just assume that, look, there are some disorders and then there are steps that people will take. And so that is why it is very important for people to go through, to go to experts or to go to people that should be able to help, pediatricians, psychologists, counselors, and so on. They should be able to help with pediatricians, especially because we are talking about children in this case. But be it as it may, it is something that can be concerning. It is something that can generate anxiety for parents and even for the child. And that is what we mean by learning disability. Children may not be able to perform specific tasks or specific roles as a result of certain disorders.
You mentioned that it's difficult in certain tasks and combination of tasks. So it seems to me that there might be types of learning disability. Am I right on that?
Very, very correct.
So do you mind sharing with us the types?
Well, that's why I'm here to
Yeah, we
It's
love
always
you
very,
as
very-
viewers, so
yeah,
definitely.
that's well, because data is at the first. Let me start by looking at the ones that are very common. Now, people will look at one disorder, call it reading disorder, ordinary reading disorder. It is about the most common of all the disorders that people are looking at. In fact, some statistics will put the disorders affecting about 70 to 80, sometimes 80 to 90% of some population. So if you are looking at looking at the level of importance that disorder occupies in the minds of people, and then you come to say, okay, reading disorder is a paramount one. And because people are used to seeing children having difficulty in reading, there is this expression, there is this term that is very, very popular. We call it developmental dyslexia. Developmental dyslexia is a disorder that people believe and which actually affects it's a language-based disorder. It affects sometimes spellings, it affects the way people pronounce, it affects the way people be able to look at words and names, it affects the way they may be able to interpret those words and phonemes as the case might be. But it is not every language-based disorder that is reading disorder. And it is not, it is not even every reading disorder that you can see is dyslexia. And that is why some will even talk about some other disorders that may affect children, but which are also language-based. So there are times when some disorders will affect even the fluency of reading. Some will affect the pronunciation of words and so on. So it is something that goes beyond just reading disorder, but most of the time when people talk about it, we look at it as dyslexia. It's not that they are not saying what that people will understand, but it can even be taken further than that. We're not really able to have too much time looking at the thing, but that is one aspect. There is another one, still something that looks like language related to it. There is this expression of there is a disorder of written expression.
Writing.
It's like writing disorder. It's like, if you can call it that, but we call it disorder of written expression. Like, it affects writing. Because it affects writing, a number of people may want to see it as part of dyslexia. Of course, to some extent, it relates, but it has its own specific challenge or challenges, because this one will affect even the way people are able to look at the way people are able to arrange or to sequence words, even in terms of paragraph organization. So that is why some children may find it difficult to identify where the paragraph is, or to even understand how to put, how to apply some key things in terms of language. And you can move further and say, okay, there are some children that will also have challenges even with coordinating the way they write. Sometimes people call this aphasia, so, but aphasia. But there are specifics. There are people that will have challenges or disorders relating to handwriting. So, and that is the one people normally call dysgraphia.
So what's the difference between aphasia and dysgraphia?
Well, basically, we are looking at aphasia as something that affects the coordination. In terms of the way they are, yes. But dysgraphia looks at the way the handwriting is.
Okay, like you were supposed to write A this way and it's facing the right side.
No, that's not even the.
Okay.
That would be an aspect of mirroring. That's another challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the way the handwriting of an individual is, even if it's A facing the way A should face, and you have somebody that is writing the A that is like supposed to be lowercase, but it looks even bigger than the one that is like uppercase, and then you now combine it with letter B that is now looking like you are not sure whether it is going to be B or D, but it is not supposed to be. Or maybe the way it is spaced, there is a small space now, not the other word, you have a very long space, or you don't have combination.
We are writing words together.
Yes.
I am a boy, I am and a boy together.
All of these ones. No, of course, you are joining all of them together. There are so many disorders. Then the last one that we want us to share because of time is this one called dyscalculia. And you know, if you're, I'm not too sure whether you're very good with possibilities. Okay, how could I do?
Don't let us talk about. But then I can, like, to some extent, I'm good in maths.
Okay, maybe you are not like us.
In as much as it's not so compound and it's a simple thing I can learn.
Okay, but
and in relation to the same formula, all true.
Okay, but maybe you are also having.
Well, I
you might have
been
been
problem
having
with
some
word problems too. Okay, in mathematics.
So everything about it may be explained in terms of this calculation. You know, calculation, that's what.
Oh, calculation.
So if we are now talking about calculation, then you are talking about it's just like that's functioning. So you are having it, finding it difficult to even calculate because even number having recognition in terms of the way you use sequence number, in terms of the logical relationships of numbers and so on, and symbols, mathematical symbols, that disorder can affect the children's ability to learn mathematics. The dyslexia can affect the ability of children to learn all these English and languages generally. That is why you have dyslexia that is mostly language-based, dyscalculia that is mostly affecting mathematical things and so on.
So it shouldn't be surprising to parents again and tell it on the fact that children are actually lazy when they don't know mathematics. They might be suffering from dyscalculia.
Might be. But like, I hope we have given you good excuse to tell your parents.
But basically, the truth remains that these children can actually be as smart as anyone. They just need to be understood better and tailored around their learning patterns, their learning style.
As a matter of fact, as we are going to realize that if parents, there are so many of these, there are so many things that we could call disorders, there are so many things that will affect some people, there are so many things that will also affect the learning ability of people that may not be related to disorders. Like last week, or the last time that we were looking at, I was discussing with some people, and I was trying to let them know that even there could be challenges in terms of the way we process information. So if those challenges come at the stage of the input, that means when the information is coming in through the different nerves or by means of the different nerves, it could be challenges that will relate to even the what you can call integration. After input, you have the integration. The integration, because you will now begin to how do we begin to process, how do we make sense of those information that we got. Now, if we cannot integrate very well, it goes into the storage stage. It means not effectively integrated will have been stored. Even if effectively stored something that was not effectively integrated, it means garbage in, garbage out. So by the time you're having the output, when people are asking you questions, it is
taking him.
So a lot of things can affect people, and there are a lot of things that you can call that you can categorize under learning disability. And I know that in due course we will let people know how children can be assisted, but one of the first things that we need to understand is what we do. Let us know that these children can be having challenges, and these challenges, some of them are not insurmountable. They can challenges that children can overcome with help, with assistance, with support from parents, support from their counselors, support from the other experts that can relate with them, psychologists, pediatricians.
So while it might seem as if it's frustrating that a child has learning disorder, parents should understand the fact that you can just be patient with them, and with time you can overcome this. We really hate to go. I hate saying that, but then we just have to go to bring something special and cook it for you. And make sure you enjoy yourself and stay tuned for more editions to come. Bye bye. I'm crazy though.
Thank you so much for the opportunity that you had, but I am still me.